Hello, everybody. This is Irina Strunina and our weekly podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. And today we have a special edition. Every week we meet with healthcare providers, with people who are working with people who have diabetes, helping them to uh, get better, to find ways to um, help themselves, and they are sharing their point of view. But every last Thursday of the month, I'm inviting people who actually have the health challenges. And sometimes I invite people who maybe don't have diabetes, but their challenges very similar to the ones who have diabetes. Plus, unfortunately, diabetes is such a tricky disease that very often people who have that, they also might have this. And today I invited my very good friend Marvis Henderson to join me on this conversation because she has experienced and still experiencing every day her own health challenges, and maybe some of you will recognize um, yourself in what she is going through. So, Marvis, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you are, and what challenge you are working with, and how you. Well, then we'll go and discuss it, and you'll tell us how you are working with it every day. All right, welcome.
Hey. I am Marvis and I'm from North Carolina. I'm still in North Carolina and I have working through my health challenges. I have several chronic illnesses and I keep thinking that stress is what set them off. So at this point, I have had fibromyalgia for about 22, 23 years.
Mhm.
Um, as soon as I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I ended up with hypertension, and I have had thyroid disease as a child.
Mhm.
So I am now struggling with trying to keep my A1C, my blood pressure, and my thyroid um, imbalance. So knowing that I'm at the doctor and I'm going through two may be in balance and one is out of balance, one is so still just going through those struggles. But I think it is the way that I have decided to live my life that has made those challenges manageable.
Absolutely. And I know that you are doing it very well. And we meet with you regularly, and I've heard different stories of your life, and I know that you had to take control over it. So before you came to this realization, before you came to realization that you actually in charge, and you are the one who will lead your life, not your diagnosis will show you where to go, right? So what was your first, emotional response when you got diagnosis with fibromyalgia
Well,
and all this?
fibromyalgia is not a well researched disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was not a whole lot of information back 20 some years ago, and it's still not as much information about it. It's pretty much a autoimmune syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I struggle through pain every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to make some changes, and I had to take control of my life. When I decided to make those changes, there was one catalyst, and that was my son was on his way to college.
Uh-huh.
And I did not want to be the sick mom that he worried about while he went to college. So I took control. I moved from my hometown. I changed my diet and became gluten free and yeast free. And I got to the new town and I decided I'm going to make a decision to try something new um, each week.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctors had they always told me, you need to exercise. And I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm in pain every day. What do you mean exercise? But I found line dancing. Um, and I have been line dancing ever since. And so the moment that I added line dancing into my world, my digestive system got better, my sleep got better, I became more social, and I'm living a life that's just beyond my wildest dreams now.
Absolutely. So it's just a second. You said that you found line dancing after you got diagnosed.
Yes,
So you were not the dancer beforehand. Before that, you've been doing something else that is not related to this kind of activity.
right. No, I had not, I was not really physically active for the first 12 years of my diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, I was living in the pain. And my mindset was such that I did not feel, that I was like, the doctors are crazy. What do you mean? I'm going to try to exercise and I'm in this kind of pain. But like I said, it was me making a conscious
Yes.
decision to take back my life because
Mm-hmm.
I had, so I fought the title of being disabled.
Yes.
No, but I was doing it in my mind and I wasn't doing it in my body.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the doctors had not told me decades before to become gluten free
Mm-hmm.
because I also have IBS. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
had that as a child. So I had those chronic illnesses, thyroid disease and IBS while I was a child and I grew up, you know, somewhat, somewhat sickly, not too sickly, but sickly enough that
Mm-hmm.
they were constant um, issues within my world. But as a child, I didn't let those things stand in the way of me doing things. And so, I had just what I say is for people who are being newly diagnosed with chronic illnesses, it's going to take some grit.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy. I live in the South, and you telling me I can't have gluten? It is, it's kind of un-American.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that with those changes, I'm able to come on here and hang out with you. So,
Yes.
um,
Definitely. Well, you're right. So it took for you some time to recognize the power that within you, that you actually strong and capable of getting your life back instead of just relying on medication and doctors and hoping that it will get better somehow without your participation. But
and I have to say I was fortunate
uh-huh.
because I had healthcare providers that did not mind talking among themselves. So my meds manager, when she said you know, thank you, thyroid is out of balance. I could
Mm-hmm.
go to my primary and say, Ms. Manager said she think my thyroid is out of balance. And he went and he got the test done and, 9 times out of 10, she was correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, having that type of, um, relationships among them,
Yes.
it meant that I had to be my self advocate.
Yes.
So, as my A1C level, pre-diabetic, diabetic, clear, whatever, I still had to make a choice on whether or not I was going to add another prescription.
Yes.
I take enough prescriptions that I probably can start my own pharmacy. But the thing is, I had to start making those, um, I want to say smart moves.
Mhm.
I have to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to eat this something and it's going to hurt me, or do I stay um, within my lifestyle, because gluten free and yeast free is a lifestyle change. It's
Yes.
not a diet. So you have to make those decisions, and they don't feel good. It is not it's not easy to eat healthy, or to find the exercise. I found line dancing and it worked. I
Mm-hmm.
tried yoga and it didn't. So, what I say to people is find whatever gives you joy to do the work. And as long as you're moving, then
Yes.
you're giving yourself a chance.
This is interesting. The line dancing is not a common solution, not solution, choice of physical activities that people pick. But I am such a big fan of dancing in general, and I see this different grooving and line dancing maybe, or maybe it may be funk dancing, whatever, as long as you enjoying this, right? And it helps your body to bring that one more healthy component to your life, right? This movement is important.
Yes, I think if you look at anything that I have done on social media or whatever, the one thing that is different from me than other people is I'm line dancing in heels. Um, so, and I say to people, line dancing, you don't need a partner. So,
Uh-huh.
and when I first started my business, it was supposed to be to write books. And instead, I started throwing line dance parties. And
Okay.
then someone said, well, can you teach the class and teach a class? And I was like, well, yeah, I can. And so, I was doing some research and I was going back looking at what I do. And I didn't realize how much music has played a part in my life. So, um, middle school, I was in the band and I played the flute. You
Mm-hmm.
know, elementary, I took piano lessons for a hot minute. Um, and then in college, I took a modern dance class. So, music has just been the fabric, one of the things that I enjoy about life. And so it was, I don't know, by design that I fell into line dancing, but um, I can't think of anything that I would do if I didn't have line dancing. So during the pandemic, soon as the pandemic hit, we went to Zoom.
Yes.
So I now teach line dance on Zoom. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
This is this is so interesting. So for one thing, the fact that you picked the line dancing, but then you also mentioned in the beginning that the stress is important, and how dancing helps you to manage the stress.
What I tell people that come to my events, I'm not going to be able to solve all your problems.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give me that hour, and then Sunday we did line dancing for 3 hours. So that's another story. But I'm not going to be able to solve your problems, but I can give you that respite so that if you are concentrating on learning the steps or doing the dance or, listening to the music, it gives you a sense of peace and calmness so that you can go back to your world and make better choices.
Kind of like escape from the problems you are dealing. Here you're focusing on the proper steps and making it, feeling the rhythm and kind of combining it all together. You escaping from all these feelings that you had before, right? Like the pain or the worry or, this stress. And you focus on this physical activity that helps your blood to move through your body, but it also gives you the mental a little vacation or mental
Just
break from it, right?
exactly. It is what I say. I did a talk with several line dance instructors, and what I said to them is, you don't know who comes into your class. You don't
Exactly.
know what they're dealing with. And so you're giving them that opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to really just take a moment out of their life, no
Mm-hmm.
matter, what circumstances they're going through. It is more about, so the physical is the problem, is one of the issues, but the socialization is another one.
That too,
And so,
yes.
dancing is, it is social.
Yes.
Whether or not it's line dancing, it's just, tango, whatever you're doing, it is, um, it is about being in the presence of others
Mm-hmm.
that has helped. And dancing is just one of those forms of expression. So, it is just whoever choreographed those dances, they're using their artistic expression. And so, it's just me taking a page from what they're doing and bringing it to a larger community. So, yeah, whatever you do, take that time and find out what brings you joy
Yes.
and use that to be your mantra as you deal with chronic illnesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, this is something that we often speak on our podcast here, that for so long, so many people are ignoring their bodies, ignoring the signals that their body is giving them, that it's time now to take back, this lost connection between you and your body and serve it so it could serve you back better, hold you, and support you in everything you do and enjoy in life, right?
That's it. It is. Um, I said, and I talk to my chronic illnesses, and I tell them, make sure you all got your medicine because we're going on this trip. And
Mm-hmm.
so, each body is different. Each
Yes.
body responds to things differently. But what I have learned is get to know your body and get to love it
Mm-hmm.
and get to the point where you're giving it your best. If you're giving everybody else their best, why wouldn't you give yourself that best?
Exactly. Exactly. Taking care of yourself, self-care is not such a selfish, act. It's really just making sure that you are taking care in the way you're supposed to be.
Be the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And take that time to remember when you were dreaming. That's one of the things that I talk with my friends about. It is those things that we dream about. Why would you let your chronic illnesses stand in the way?
Mm-hmm.
While you're carving out time to go to all those different appointments, and God knows I know about the logistics of trying to get from point A to point B to point C, and go from doctor to doctor to doctor. But while you're carving out that type of time, carve out time for you to get your nails done. Get, spend time with loved ones. If you into nature, go out in nature.
Mm-hmm.
If you love to read, read a good book. Why wouldn't you think you deserve the best? Because you're able to take care of other people when you're feeling at your best. When you're not feeling at your best, then you're not making as wise of decisions as you could. So, you know, not to say, and I can speak from experience because it took me 12 years to get myself in back into realizing my illness is not who I am. They're just a part of me.
Exactly. Yes. 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 Well, okay. So one more question before we start wrapping up, because unfortunately we have to. So you are a great example how the health challenges actually supplied you with ideas and provided you right now the activity that you enjoy, and it's your business. You're doing something that you are enjoying, you're helping yourself, you're helping others, you're having fun, and along with the way you're getting paid for it. Isn't it a perfect combination?
It is a wonderful. I did not dream this life,
Uh-huh.
but I am really enjoying it.
All right. Well, you see, you will never know what turn our life will take when something changes. Like you was reasonably healthy, and then suddenly you got this pain. You went through this period of time, and now you are claiming your life back, and you getting it back. And now you can value, because you will not value something until you experience the loss, the missing part, right? But once you know how it feels and you have a chance to get it back, this is a totally with the benefits. You've got new lifestyle, you've got new friends, you've got business. These are benefits of it, in addition to actually being able to walk without that much pain and dance and enjoy the movement. This is very good. Um, I don't know, the good outcome for you, and I congratulate you on it.
Thank you so much.
Well, Marvis, I have to say that we got to wrap up today. For this show, I am sure that we will talk with you more. But for this show, I heard that you are saying that you actually have classes. Are they online classes, or are they in-person classes?
They are still on Zoom, so
Okay. So how people can, if I don't know who is listening to us, but I am pretty sure that someone may decide, I got to try it. I never had line dancing before, never experienced that before. Maybe this is the thing that I will enjoy and that will help me to bring more movement into my life. How they can find you?
they can go to my website www.marvisfun.com.
Okay. And there are some information, right? They could schedule a call with you. How?
They can schedule a call, or they can look at the my events page and sign up for my activities.
Oh, perfect. Good. So I will post in the comments section under this video this link. So anyone who is interested to learn more about line dancing or about Marvis and speak with you, please don't hesitate to to go to this link and connect. And I have to say a couple more things about, oh gosh, again, I did this again. Remind everyone the activities that we do in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. In case you forgot that every Tuesday we have our Telenurse Tuesday event. This is when I post this banner, and everyone in the Facebook group, if you have questions about your care plan, maybe about medication, maybe about what you eat, you can type in the comment section under this poster this question. So our registered nurse will go at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and answer those questions. So if you have those questions, use this opportunity to ask about it. Another activities that we have on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, we have support group meetings, and we invite every person who feel lonely, who feel unsupported, who has questions, who maybe has the full line of supporters but does not know what to do. Join us on those meetings because we have our group members, me, of course, and also very often we have healthcare providers such as dietitians or life coaches joining us there, and we are trying to help you and answer your questions if we can. Or find the person who can answer those questions. Of course, every Thursday at 4 p.m., we have our Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360 podcast that you could join live. And the one more thing is that we have our Diabetic Healthcare Expo every other month. We have it on the last Saturday of the month when we are inviting different healthcare experts to join us and speak about life with diabetes and how people can help themselves, what they need to pay attention to, what are the uh, communities are available. All this information will be discussed at our expos. And with that, I am closing up this show. Marvis, thank you very much for being here with me and joining me and sharing your story. And I hope inspiring people to believe in themselves and look for different options that are available. They are there. We just need to have open mind and try it. For somebody, bicycling works. For somebody, playing basketball works. And for somebody, line dancing works. Why not?
Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone, thank you for being our listeners. And we will talk with you next Thursday.